just doing a quick back to basics on behavior. Okay, autism is kind of defined as a behavioral condition or disorder. It's only measured by how we behave, basically. And because of the double empathy problem, which I've spoken about before earlier in the series, if you want to have a look at the one about social skills, because of the double empathy problem and because of the way autistic people are dehumanized, normal signs of human distress in autistic people are not seen as normal signs of human distress. They're often interpreted as autism. Okay, I know it's bizarre, but that's what's happening. And it takes a while to kind of break through this. So when people say the autism is causing the behavior, that's utter nonsense, okay? So I'm going to just do a little, extract from a PDF that I put together recently called Understanding Emotion, which is really about reframing behavior, helping people to do that, to break it down and to look at behavior as something else, as opposed to what we've kind of been conditioned and brought up to think it is. We've all been kind of brought up in a society where behavior is good or bad, but it's actually like so much more than that. It can communicate our internal state. It's a reflection of our environment. It shows how someone is feeling, doesn't it? So here's a little, I suppose, handy way to kind of think about behavior and how we respond to it, okay, as adults particularly. So imagine if we think like that someone is being bold or acting out, okay, because that's what we've learned. We've been told that's what that kind of behavior is, okay? They're just being bold or they're acting out, or they need to learn how to behave themselves. What if we reframe that as their nervous system is overwhelmed and they're signaling distress? Okay, now think about those two interpretations of the exact same behavior or action that somebody might do. I don't like that word behavior because it has such negative connotations for us. First interpretation might be they're being bold, they're acting out, or they're doing it on purpose. A reframe would be their nervous system is overwhelmed and they're signaling distress. We see that they're in distress. See how different those interpretations are. Same thing's happening, whatever it is, we've interpreted in two completely different ways. We're going to respond in two completely different ways, aren't we? We're going to respond in two completely different ways. Because if we realize someone is overwhelmed and they're signaling distress, we're going to reduce demands. We're going to offer safety and comfort. If we think they're being bold and acting out, sure, we're going to use some behaviourist nonsense on them. We're going to start punishing them or warning them or, what-ifing them and trying to coerce them into behaving themselves or ignoring them or all those kind of behaviourist ideas, which are just not helpful to either of us in that scenario, okay? I'll give you another maybe two examples from this. As I said, it's Understanding Emotion. It's a PDF on our website. If you're interested in it, you can pop onto the website. But it's just really simplifying this kind of behaviour stuff. We might think somebody is lazy or unmotivated. They just can't be bothered doing something. That could be one interpretation of it. Or we might actually think, gee, I wonder, are they burnt out? I wonder, have they had enough? I wonder, are they in freeze state? Is this like a stress response that I'm seeing here? Are they anxious about doing the task or doing the thing? Or maybe I haven't even communicated clearly how to do it. Maybe they're not even sure how to start. Look at the same thing. Someone who can't initiate a task, is having difficulties doing something. We interpret it as lazy or unmotivated, can't be bothered. Or we go, oh, I wonder, are they burnt out? I wonder, do they need a break? I wonder, have they had enough? I wonder, are they in a freeze state now? Are they actually shut down? Are they anxious or are they unsure of what to do? Look at those two responses. What will we do? Because if we respond in the second interpretation, which is a much more human interpretation, of course, we will support them and, see what they need to initiate the task or not do the task at all, whatever they need right now. Okay. I'm going to give you one more, a common one. For autistic people in particular, where people kind of think they're being rude. So we can interpret someone's behavior and just think they're being rude, as if we're going deliberately out of our way to be rude or something like that. Rude is also a highly subjective word, isn't it? And then we can reframe that as their communication is direct, authentic, or they could be dysregulated and don't have the capacity to be using words in certain ways, or unfiltered, not disrespectful. We are honouring and understanding autistic communication and also stressed human communication. If we think someone's being rude, we're going to meet them in a certain way. If we think that they're being direct and authentic, or possibly stressed or dysregulated, whichever, it could be, either, we're going to respond in different ways. If it's the latter, we're going to respond with something that is, like calm curiosity, rather than correcting them or getting annoyed with them if we think they're being rude. So it's really, really important. And this is basics, is understanding what behaviour actually is, what it's communicating to us, how we can interpret it, how we interpret it through our own lens, and we have to assess our own lens and our own biases. Like a kid who was blamed for everything growing up is going to think children are kind of acting out deliberately now as an adult. That's the way they're going to interpret it. A child who was shamed for things is probably going to shame kids for doing the same. So our own internal landscape is shaping what we're seeing and how we're responding to it. So that's, I suppose, another basic bit is that we actually, it's us have to do the work, not the autistic child or not the autistic adult, if someone in care or whatever, or in employment even. It is us. It's the other people need to adjust our perspectives and need to widen our lenses and meet autistic people with far more empathy. So I hope that's helpful. I'll be doing more of these. As I said, you can have a look on Instagram. There's a highlighted stories with this, and also on our YouTube channel there's the whole Back to Basics series. So let me know if you'd like to hear of anything else. I know I have some other ones I haven't gotten around to doing. I will do, I promise. But I will, any particular topics that you'd like me to cover, happy to pop on and do a short video on it, just to break it down, because I know, look, I'm at this a long time, and I know sometimes when I say things, it's like, but people are like, what is she saying? But sure, if we don't have the basics, then we won't understand a lot of the other things and a lot of just the principles of neurodiversity. Okay, cheers, bye.